welcome to Transmissions, where we talk about Hasbro, Takara, and third-party Transformers. On this episode, we take a look at the next Transformers Bishoujo Anime girl, last week's Hasbro Pulse Fanstream reveals of upcoming Transformers Studio Series and Legacy figures, and we recap the Hasbro Fan Media Roundtable for Monday. Today is Wednesday, February 8th, 2023, and this is episode 524, Transmissions.
Welcome to Transmissions, the podcast that doesn't know what happened to our new balloon-based podcast delivery system. We were testing it last week. I'm your host, Charles, aka Big C, and I'm joined by the excellent Transmissions team, which is Jeremy, aka Yakko.
Hey, how's it going? Let's talk Transformers.
As always, we start the show by thanking our Donatreons, those lovely people who support us on Patreon and PayPal. Thank you all so much for your continued contributions, and we really appreciate you guys putting your faith in us and enjoying the show and helping us out. It's because of you that we can keep doing this every week, and we really appreciate the support. If you'd like to become a Donatreon, just go to transmissionspodcast.com/support, and that's where you can sign up. Of course, there's lots of perks that come included with the membership. At the higher levels, you get some merchandise, but every level gets access to some bonus content. We got bonus episodes. First, our bonus show, We Like Big Bots, and that is hosted by Daryl and Dr. Pants. They talk about lots of different bots that they have and enjoy. The most recent episode was on Victory Saber. That's very relevant since we just got the HasLab Victory Saber a couple of months ago. And they go into that and a couple of other versions of Victory Saber that they also have. So you can take a look at that episode. We'll have new episodes coming soon. I don't know exactly when, but it'll keep going. We'll see. There's lots of big bots to cover.
Yeah, maybe a season 2. They're out of the buffer, and yeah.
Yeah, so you might have noticed Daryl's not here tonight. Of course, Dr. Pants isn't here either. They've both had, unfortunately, other commitments that couldn't make it, but we'll get them back eventually, and hopefully we'll get some more big bots too. So stay tuned for that. All right, we've also, this week, we've got another bonus episode of our Transformers Live Play RPG podcast, Empire of Rust. So this is the early bonus version. It's uncut, lots of extra stuff that's cut out of the regular episode. This is episode 95, the Gravitas of Navitas. So you can check that out if you are a Donatreon. It will be on our Patreon page. It actually should be there right now, so you can check it out and listen there, and then come back in a week to listen to the regular episode. If you are a Donatreon, you can listen to it right now. If you are not, just got to wait for it to come to the free feed. That'll be next Monday. That's at transmissionspodcast.com/rust. So enjoy. All right, that's all our announcements. So let's get into the show and talk about some toys. First off, we got some quick hits, and Jeremy, start us off.
All right. We've been talking a lot about the Bishoujo figures because they're going to be at TFCon, and they have just announced their newest figure, which is Bumblebee. These are the figures where they take a character they've done Optimus Prime and Megatron and translate it into an anime girl style statue, and I think this one is pretty good. It's got, like, she's wearing kind of a Bumblebee hood, but the color scheme's there, and her belt is reminiscent of this image we have. I don't know if that's from the G1 Marvel comics or just kind of in the style of, but he has that V in his waist, and her belt has that. I don't know. I think they're cute, and I think they're well done, well designed. And I think we had seen a silhouette of this one. We knew that Bumblebee was coming, so I imagine they're going to have this on display at TFCon when they go. But these are nice. They're officially licensed, and it's great to see them continuing the line. I'm wondering what's going to happen when they get to Grimlock. That'll be interesting.
The boots, her boots are what did it for me. I mean, those boots that look like Bumblebee's feet are super cute there.
Yeah.
Although I don't know why she has a pistol holster on her leg.
I mean, it's his weapon, and where else is she going to put a pistol? She doesn't really have pockets or anything. So.
Yeah, so everyone who's into the Bishoujo, there it is. They're continuing the line. I imagine people are eagerly awaiting the Starscream version. I wonder what that's going to look like.
And I like how they're doing like the goggles for the eyes that are in the shape of the robot's eyes. They did the same thing with Optimus.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, this is, it's a fun thing, and I'm sure the collectors of these statues, are enjoying them. Oh, and there was also an interview with one of the creators. It was translated from Japanese. We'll have a link in the show notes to that too. I haven't actually gone through it, but here TFW 2005 has it. So, be sure to check that out too.
Yeah, and there's also like a survey you can do if you want to, and they have an English version of the survey you can take to if you want to give your thoughts on future Bishoujo Transformers versions. So,
yeah,
and these guys we talked about this earlier. They're going to be at TFCon LA, so hope if maybe they'll have the Bumblebee version there as well as the Megatron and Optimus. I don't know. So.
I would imagine. I mean, it looks like these are final, like, even if it's not shipping, they would have a copy.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like they've done My Little Pony ones as well, but of course, My Little Pony has done a series where the ponies turn into actual people. So,
yep, cool. Okay, next up, of course, this happened over a week ago, but our recording schedule. We recorded our last podcast before the Hasbro Hasbro Pulse fan stream, so we missed it in last week's episode. But we've got all the information right now, so we're gonna quickly run through it, and we've got more stuff coming this week. So we actually are going to be timely this week, but we got to go through the last week's Hasbro fan stream. They talked about a bunch of Rise of the Beast Studio Series figures. They had a lot of these had already been revealed, but these look very cool. We had Studio Series 100 Deluxe Bumblebee. We talked about that, I think, a couple weeks ago. There's Voyager Battle Trap, which we had already seen as well. That was already available. We had Core Class RC coming too, and the Deluxe Air Razor. And then the one I think Jeremy was looking forward to, Leader Scourge. Mm. It's kind of Scourge, right? Not
there's
quite.
not enough teal. Not any teal. And it's so dark, it's hard to find a good picture because the woman behind him is also wearing black.
And we did what's kind of a real reveal. We had Core Class Freezer, which we had seen the figure before, but we had not seen its alt mode. And it turns out Freezer is a target master. He turns into a blaster for Scourge, and they showed that off on the fan stream.
Wait, where was that? That was. Oh, here we go. Yeah, that's the weapon he's holding there.
Yep. It's another figure where they don't know what to do with his arms in alt mode.
Right. You also missed Cheetor.
Oh, sorry.
And
Okay, yeah,
they
Voyager
showed,
Cheetor.
yeah,
Sorry, Cheetor.
which we talked about like last week, I think.
Yeah, you got a whole you got the episode image last week, Cheetor. So
Yeah.
you should be okay. Cheetors never prosper. I was very proud of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, all those figures had already been revealed, so it was kind of just a recap of everything that was out and was available for pre-order. But we moved on to the Legacy Evolution reveals. Here we had some things that had been leaked already, but a bunch of new stuff. We started off with the core class figures, so we had core class Grimlock, continuing the core class Dinobots, which are there are going to be 6 total Dinobots that will combine into Volcanicus, and they showed off the partial combine mode with Grimlock and Sludge and Slug together. So you can see that Grimlock forms the leg, where Sludge and Slug form the torso.
That is
And
an ugly transformation. It just I've seen nothing but like ugh the leg online talking about this thing.
well, I'm waiting for the inevitable Dino King
Hmm.
repaint. So I
Yeah.
think that I will probably pass on the Dinobots and just spring right for the Dino King whenever that comes out. So hopefully we can get those figures and they're not like, exclusive to Walgreens or something.
Yeah.
Although they're not medics, so I
I'm
guess Walgreens only takes medic figures. So
right. I think a character like Dino King would be obscure enough to be a generation select.
yeah, maybe. Yeah, like a gift set with all 6 figures.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's Grimlock was the first core figure. Then we had Nemesis Prime, core class Nemesis Prime, repaint, of course, of the core class Optimus. Is there enough teal on this one for
Yes.
you, Jeremy?
Well, yes,
Okay.
and they mentioned that the axe is new for this one and
Oh, okay.
compatible with other core class figures. So yeah,
Cool.
this one I think I'm gonna pick up. I don't really get a lot of the core class, but this one, I mean, he looks good.
hmm And the last core class was Thundercracker. So we complete the Seeker core class figures, and they did give Thundercracker the null rays. Or I thought only Starscream had null rays. These are just arm cannons. Are they all called null rays? I thought it was only Starscream that had the null
I don't
ray.
know.
But anyway, I mean, it's good that they put them back on Thundercracker, but it's kind of weird that Skywarp was released without the guns. So it's kind of like you've got this weird Starscream had them, Thundercracker had them, Skywarp doesn't have them. So that's still kind of weird. But there you go. So if you're collecting the core class Seekers, the set is complete now with the original 3.
Just
So
get an extra one that has the null rays and repaint them.
sounds like a plan. Okay, moving on to deluxe. So we start off with the deluxe Junkion. We had also seen this leaked previously, but we didn't have a name. Now we have the name is Crash Bar, and this is a Junkion motorcycle. A very different design than the standard Wreck-Gar Junkion design. So very interesting. And he does have he separates into component pieces like the previously released Scrap Hook. So continuing the Junkion subline in the Legacy Evolution series, and I think we talked about him already. He's a good looking figure, and I like the asymmetry on the figure, and of course the parts, not parts forming, kind of anti parts forming, I guess you could call it, because he comes apart, but he still transforms
I mean,
without
it's
coming
essentially
apart.
the weaponizer gimmick, but
Yeah,
they're making actual characters out of them, and for Junkions, it makes sense. It's the perfect line to
yep,
do this with.
exactly, yep,
And I love
and
that his weapon actually spins. You know, we don't actually see a lot of that these days, but you know the blades that pop out of his wheel it's spun pretty freely when they flicked it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay, next in deluxe class, continuing the Insecticons, we've got Shrapnel, and it's not Scrapnel. They got the trademark back. It's not Scrapnel anymore. It's Shrapnel. So that's nice to see.
Yeah, I think that happened the
So,
last time they released one.
oh, did it? Okay,
Yeah,
well,
I think it was a core class or something.
okay. So this is, I guess we had Kickback previously in the Legacy line, so now we've got Shrapnel. So of course, Bombshell will be coming soon. This Shrapnel looks pretty good, so it's probably in the same. It's in the same style as Kickback. So if you are chasing the Insecticons, here's your second one. So enjoy.
Is that weapon one that resembles his original weapon, or because it looks like sound waves, at least the tip of it to me?
I believe that's styled after his original G1
Okay,
weapon, G1 toy weapon.
it's just the tip of it looks like the sound waves.
Yeah, it does. It does look kind of, but Soundwave, of course, has the big barrel, so
Right.
it's I think that the tip was just a missile that you plugged into to the barrel. So,
Okay.
but yeah, there's the Shrapnel looking pretty good. Next on the deluxe line, we have a repaint of Skids, and this is Senator Crosscut. So this is, of course, the following the Japanese. I believe that for the first time, this was like a Japanese e-hobby exclusive that was released as Crosscut, as a silver colored Skids version, and he's continued in several iterations. I believe he's also has a masterpiece figure. And he showed up in Lost Light and More Than Meets the Eye. He was a character on More Than Meets the Eye, the comic series.
I mean,
So
that's where the senator comes in, right?
yes, that's where he was a senator. That's right. So there you go with Senator Crosscut. And the next figure, of course, the deluxe that we had seen previously was Animated Prowl. So the introduction of the Transformers animated universe into the Legacy line. We had seen this leaked back in December, I think. So we had seen this a long time ago, but now officially revealed here, and you can see the updates they made to the Prowl design for the animated Prowl design. He's a little bit chunkier, not quite as thin as the original animated Prowl version, to make him look a little bit more. I guess the Legacy line is kind of G1ifying all these characters, but it looks good.
Yeah.
And then now a couple of reveals that we had speculated on last week. So we have Metal Hawk, and this looks like, and Evan talked about this, the designer, Evan talked about this on the stream, that he actually took is a partial of Cyclonus. So Kingdom Cyclonus, he took that original design and built a Metal Hawk around that, and worked with the Japanese Takara designers to get the Metal Hawk design. So Metal Hawk was a pretender originally in G1, but they just focused on the inner robot for this character, and it came out pretty good. I mean, even without the pretender gimmick, I think it looks pretty cool. And
Yeah.
it's pretty amazing they got this out of Cyclonus. Like, it hardly looks anything like the Kingdom Cyclonus.
Yeah. I mean, in robot mode, I can see some of the pieces that came from Cyclonus, but it's hard for me to tell in the vehicle mode that that's
Mhm.
what it was. But I'm sure other people have better eyes than me. Uh, and he did mention on the stream that, like, because I think it was brought up one that the Decepticon ones that they've done that were pretenders look like their pretender shell, but the Autobots all kind of looked humanoid, and
Yep.
in to keep it in scale with the other figures, it just wouldn't make sense to have a giant human, and it made it easier just to do the bot mode.
Yep. Makes sense. Those Autobots were always human lovers. They always had their pretender shells had to look humanoid. So,
Right.
very
It had to
boring.
fit in.
Yeah. And of course, we had Twin Cast. That was also one we had leaked last week, and it's just a repainted blaster. No surprise there. Of course, it comes with rewind, a repaint of eject, and now I kind of have to get this figure because I want the rewind,
Right.
even though I already have the blaster. So that kind of sucks.
Yeah. And they also showed with his weapon in the boombox mode, you can have it sticking up like an antenna that was in the show apparently.
Oh, okay. I can probably do that with my blaster now.
Yeah,
I should
I'm sure
try
you
that out.
can. But
But yeah, I hope at some point they're thinking about doing like a steel jaw or a steel jaw and ram horn to go with this blaster slash twin cast.
yeah, I would love to just see a 4-pack of all the tapes,
Hmm.
like these modern versions.
Yep. Yeah, that would be cool. Okay, and the last figure in Legacy was a leader class figure, and it's from Transformers Prime, and this was Skyquake. And Skyquake has some light piping, so looks throughout the figure, and also has the ability to dock with Needle Nose in jet mode. So if you have the Legacy Needle Nose figure, you can dock it with the Skyquake, which I don't know.
I
Is
don't
it?
know if they showed that. Let's see.
I don't. I'm just wondering
Yeah.
why. What is the point? Is it
It,
refueling or is it? I
I
don't
think
know.
the original toys did it. If Daryl was here, he would tell us exactly why.
Because I mean, Needle Nose was not in Transformers Prime, or maybe
No, I think
Skyquake
it
a
was a
G1 figure?
G1,
Okay.
or the not Skyquake, but who was the Dreadwind
Oh, okay,
or
yeah.
Dreadwing? I can't remember.
Dreadwing, I think.
Yeah, I think that toy and Needle Nose could interact.
Oh, I see. Okay. Well, yeah. So of course, that means we're probably gonna get a Transformers Prime Dreadwing very soon.
I mean, he was in the show too
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
a little bit.
Well, yeah, Dreadwing was the one who was like the character who was there for long. Well,
Oh,
because
he was?
Skyquake was killed like when he was introduced, and
Okay.
then Dreadwing was his brother who came for revenge to get revenge on after Skyquake died,
Okay.
and he was voiced by I mentioned he was voiced by Tony Todd. I remember that.
Yeah.
So and Daryl made fun of me because I kept bringing up Tony Todd.
Well,
So
need to rewatch Prime. It was such a good show.
yeah. So that's cool. Yeah, I mean, and again, yeah, I think Dreadwing was the more like the more prominent character in Transformers Prime. So probably wait for that one to be revealed. But yeah, so that's all the legacy reveals, and you can see all the characters there. They had a nice little diorama. And then so they did something that I think is very smart. They had this new thing where they had a confirmation of future reveals called Through the Space Bridge, where they talk about figures coming up in the pipeline, because I think they did this in response to the figures keep leaking.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, we're gonna start teasing things on our own so we get ahead of these leaks. And these were all surprises. At least I don't think we had heard about these, had we?
I think there was one. I think there was one on the list that we knew about.
Okay.
I can't remember until we get to it.
But yeah, they didn't have any pictures because they used like stock stock pictures of these characters since they didn't want to reveal anything. But yeah, Through the Space Bridge, we've got first up we had a Beachcomber. So Beachcomber is coming. That's going to be cool. I guess he'll probably be a deluxe instead of a core class. Like they've been scaling up all the mini bots to be
Mhm.
deluxe now. Then we have a G1 DevCon, which is cool.
That
So
was a
that
surprise.
yeah.
I think the
So the
only
bounty hunter.
DevCon and the only DevCon I think we've gotten before this was a Collectors Club or BotCon, one of those two.
Yeah, and it was a repaint of Scourge, like a classic Scourge.
Yeah.
So now, I mean, I don't know if he's getting his own mold, but it looks like they're going
Well,
to try to do something a little bit more faithful
was
to
there a
DevCon.
Scourge and War for Cybertron?
There was a
There.
Studio Series Scourge.
So
So
there we go. It probably gonna be based off of that.
That's a good bet. Yeah. Then we have another Junkion, Axel Grease,
Oh,
but we don't have a picture because
oh,
he's not a he's a new character. So it's
oh,
another
right.
new Junkion character, Axel Grease, who also has the kind of the weaponizer slash Evo fusion. Then we had a re-release of War for Cybertron Dirge, which makes a lot of people happy who couldn't get in on the exclusive.
Yeah,
And then
this
a
is the one.
Nemesis Leo Prime. So this is for Jeremy.
Well, yeah, we had just talked about this, I think, in the
Yeah.
last week or two.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right. So um that's and I mean that's obvious, of course,
Right.
because we already have the Leo convoy. So
If you're gonna have any
yeah,
prime, you gotta have a Nemesis Prime.
exactly. Then we have Armada Megatron. So that's cool. Uh Will it come with mini cons? I'm guessing maybe not. It seems like they've been leaving. I think they're leaving all the mini cons to come as like a generation selects or something you have to buy separately or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Then another classic Optimus Prime that is going to be basically a repaint of the holiday Optimus Prime Volvo truck. So that is so it's going to be more traditional Optimus Prime colors instead of the Christmas Optimus Prime or holiday Optimus Prime colors that we have here.
Yeah, they really talked up um the like how well they enjoyed working with Volvo. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is kind of the beginnings of a series of working with Volvo. Maybe we'll have more like um Volvo vehicles.
Got to do that licensing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is all the reveals. Of course, the Space Bridge reveals were not up for pre-order because there's no information on them yet. So they're just teasing stuff that's coming, probably 6 months down the line.
Yeah.
So probably the next fan stream will get more information on all those Space Bridge reveals. But I thought it was really smart for them to start doing that now. So
Yeah.
that's they can finally get one up on all the leaks
I mean,
and
it's a losing battle, but yeah, it's
yeah,
a good thing that they're able to probably get it past legal and PR that they're able to do this.
yeah. So I guess one one note, and I watched this live during the stream. And it's just a one note to mention is that Evan, the designer, said he prefers Optimus Prime as a fire truck. So
Yes.
now if people are begging for the RID 2001 Optimus Prime Super Fire Convoy. So
You don't say something like that if it's not in the pipeline. That is just another hint as to what's coming. And I am totally on board with it. We need to have the fire convoy. Let's do it.
and if you do that, then why you got to do the Ultra Magnus, and you got to do the combine, and
Yeah,
have them combine and all that, right?
but you
Got to
don't
do
have to.
everything.
I mean, I'm not a big fan of the Ultra Magnus,
Ah, okay.
but I mean, they just did an homage to the Ultra Magnus in Siege.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
So
All right. Well, that's all from last week's Hasbro Pulse fan stream, but that's not all because we had something coming this week, and we won't. We're in the past, so stay tuned for future in the next segment. It'll be coming, so we'll have a discussion about it. This week, the folks at Hasbro, the design team, and some of the marketing team sat down with a bunch of different Transformers media sites, and they all got to ask questions. Jeremy got a question in. I think everyone pretty much got to answer one
yeah,
because
everyone got one question at least.
yeah, was like so many over 20 sites there on that call. So Jeremy, how did it go?
Yeah, it was pretty fun. I realized after it was scheduled that it happened like right after I was supposed to pick up my kid from school. So I was racing back after picking him up, and then they started 10 minutes late. So I didn't have to rush as much as I needed as I was, but it was fine. Better to be here than on my phone on a Zoom. But uh, we we met with Delaney Norris, Ben McRae, Mark Maher, Evan Brooks, and Sam Smith, who I think out of everyone, Sam Smith has the like every time he would come on screen, I'm like, this is someone talking for like a documentary interview or something. He had the best like background and out of everybody. Just kind of it looked, I don't know, just the lighting and everything was cool. So um but yeah, there was like around 20 sites or YouTube channels or just, fan media included. And it was the ground rules were we could talk or we could ask questions about mainline like legacy, studio series, and um, focusing really on what was announced at the stream last week. And mainline, um, Rise of the Beast and Earth Spark were they're done by another team. So, you know, people we're talking to didn't obviously want to speak out of turn. So those were kind of off limits. Um, so I'm going to go through these questions. Might not get all of them, but like you said, they went like they asked us to submit up to 5 questions, but we were all guaranteed one question, and then at the end there is a little bit of time left, so a couple of people got to just kind of ask one or two more. But it let's see, we'll start here. The Rodimus Primal from YouTube asked about the cassette bots and completing the sets, and also about uh Sound Blaster and Twincast, like not having the chest piece that could hold 2 tapes. And Mark says he wants to complete the mini teams, but no confirmation on that. And he also, when he was doing Twincast, he thought about doing the dual cassette chest, but budget was a concern, and also it would have to be a significant re-engineering of the blaster mold. And he thought that the mold itself looked good, and on the cartoon you don't really see blaster with like a extended chest. So that and mainly it was the cost, why they wanted to do a single cassette. um this is Matt T. I'm not sure where he's from. I think he was from the UK, but not sure what site or anything. But he asked about Studio Series Air Razor and the similarities with the Kingdom transformation. And they said that one where the new movie is not with ILM, it's with I think it's Moving Pictures Corporation, or some new
Oh yeah, okay.
some other group is doing the 3D stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But when they were designing the toy for Air Razor, I can't remember who he said he worked with at Takara, but they were like, when they saw the movie, they were like, they figured they could use the engineering from Kingdom Air Razor, but it's not actually a remold. They're just using the same techniques and kind of similar transformation. So it's, the movie referenced some existing toy transformations, and when they saw it, they're like, why don't we just do it like we've done it before? So it's not reusing any parts or anything, but the I guess the science and the physics behind it were taken.
Yeah, I mean, and I think we commented on that when we looked at the toy. We said it did look similar, even
Yeah.
though it didn't look exactly the same. It did look similar to the Kingdom Air
Yeah.
Razor transformation, so makes sense.
Yeah. And then Russ, I'm not sure what his last name was. He asked, what comes first, the toys or the concept for the movies? And the answer was basically it depends. With studio series, usually the movie is first, which makes sense because studio series usually follows the movie significantly. Um, but the mainline stuff does work more in tandem with the movie. But with Rise of the Beast specifically, it was supposed to come out last year, but was pushed back, which they said this is the first movie that has ever had the toys come out and be on shelves when the movie's released.
Mm.
So, or as far as Transformers movies. So I didn't think about that, but yeah, none of the other live action movies have had toys on the shelves when the movie was released.
Right.
And they said there's roughly a 2 year um, lag from when like they the plan is put in place for a figure and when it's released. So Jack, I think he was from T-Formers, asked about the Volvo Optimus and was it the original Amazon Prime that was rumored? And they obviously couldn't comment on anything that was never actually announced or released, but they have relations with Volvo because of the movie Devastator figure. I guess those are Volvo construction vehicles.
I had no idea.
Yeah, me neither. But they saw what the Star Wars team was doing with holiday figures because remember they did like the stormtroopers and stuff with the holiday designs and stuff. So they did the holiday prime. Apparently went over really well, and that's why we have the G1 colors of that mold coming, and they're hoping that they're going to get more uses out of it. So I think they knocked it out of the park with that one. Anthony P asked about the time frame, like with the 2 year time frame, any way to fast track any changes if an issue is coming up, or is that basically a set window? And they said it depends because if they have to spend time investigating and like the yellowing stuff, they have to figure out what the problem is and how to fix it. If it's a packaging type thing, they can get that through a lot quicker. Excuse me. But they also said things like Skyquake from it's the Prime Universe Skyquake. They took a lot of the feedback they were getting from the Bulkhead and RC, and they said that feedback was just in time to make some changes on Skyquake to make it more, I guess, more like the Prime character before it was too late to lock in those changes. So that was interesting to me, that because we Bulkhead in particular got so much flack, and I think it's a great toy, but I understand all the criticism, and I think the RC Prime, I actually haven't unboxed mine, so but I'm glad that they were able to get that feedback. They said they watch all the message boards and social media, and whenever they post something on social media, they get so many comments and stuff. So keep sending your feedback in because they are paying attention.
Be respectful, though.
Yes, be respectful. Remember, they don't have to do the social media stuff they're doing, and we want to keep encouraging them to do it because I think it's great. They were asked about what universes they would like to tap into with Legacy that they haven't yet. This was by Anthony from TFU.info. And Evan said Energon. Mark said Machine Wars, which, I mean, that Skyquake mold could easily be a Machine Wars Starscream. And then Sam just said nothing is off the table, which I'm taking to mean more RID 2001. No, but anyway, I mean, they didn't want to commit to anything because obviously they have plans for a lot of these universes. I got to ask about Metal Hawk and Cyclonus, like the reuse of the molds. And let me get my actual question because I actually have it written down. I didn't know if I was going to be home in time, so I had to print it out. I asked about creating multiple characters from a mold design, do they have plans or like an idea for a character and try multiple molds to in the early stages to see what works? Or is it just an idea like you see Cyclonus and you just like, I can see this other character like Metalhawk in that mold? And they said that many times it is planned because you do have molds with multiple heads and you have like the crosscut from Skids. That's a pretty common reuse. So that's stuff like that is planned. But with Metalhawk, it was they said it was after the fact. And I mean, they do have a running list of characters and alt modes with possibilities on who can do it. But Takara is also involved. And I think in the previous stream, I think they mentioned that Takara really helped with the Metalhawk.
Yeah.
But sometimes the Hasbro guys will go to the Takara guys and say, you know, we have this idea, and Takara engineers will come back with this like complete detailed plan, and the Hasbro guys are like, how did you do that? So it's just a mix of both. And I think the ones like the Metalhawk are really the more interesting ones because just you can't see much of Cyclonus in that figure at all.
Yeah.
Proto Man asked how many heads are pre-planned in a mold. And they said usually one extra is in the plan. There's a rare case that has more or less, but usually it would be taking up space on the mold of a weapon or a faceplate or something like that. So like the core Nemesis Prime, the axe was there in the mold. And they said it got a lot better, or they with this whole process and trying to like optimize everything, they're getting better about optimizing this with, you know, they don't want to waste plastic or waste space on the molds. They want to make sure they can make as much as they can with each mold. So they're just getting a lot better with that. Let's see. Matt G asked about Evo Fusion and specifically the Junkions. Is designing them easier or harder since they break apart? And Sam said that since they retain their transformation and they break apart, it's a lot more difficult engineering wise. Vehicle part swapping was their major hurdle, but they are very happy with how it came out. And I did not jump in and ask about your character and whether they watch Empire Rust. Listen to it. I was tempted to, but I didn't want to be that guy.
Missed opportunity.
Yeah. If we ever do get a chance to have them on us like Toys R Us did, that would be the time we can ask.
Okay, I will keep my question ready for that. If we get we get the chance to do that.
Until you hear otherwise, assume they did.
Yeah.
And then Russ from Toys R Us asked about the weapons packs. Just if we're gonna get, we got those weapon packs a few years ago. If they're going to do it again, and the team said that they do have potential plans for things like that, but the brand and Hasbro are retail first, so it's difficult to take up development space for something that would likely just be a Pulse only exclusive. They want to make sure what they do will go to retailers first. But they didn't rule it out. They just they just don't have any in the plans right now. Ryan, I think this is from Sabertron, asked about plans to address retail exclusives or of core characters that are hard to get. And specifically, this is things like the Netflix characters, like Netflix Soundwave, the Buzzworthy line, stuff like that, where during the exclusive window, the retailer, might not, or they might not be as, how do I say this? They might not be paying attention to the market for Transformers as much as Hasbro, because it's a,
Yeah.
small percentage of everything that they sell. So like Walmart might not want to order more of the Netflix Soundwave, but once the exclusivity window ends, Hasbro is free to reuse that mold. It won't be the Netflix Soundwave, but they are looking at ways to um, reuse the molds once the window expires. And they said like within like 5 or 6 years, you might see it again. Cosmos was an unexpected hit. They did say that, and Soundwave is out of the exclusivity window. Um, so I would expect to see that Soundwave again at some point.
Yeah, we got the Shattered Glass Soundwave, which is the
Right.
same mold. So
Yeah, I
yeah.
think they did call that out.
Yeah.
So, and then Bumblebee, they have to the brand deals with like Volkswagen. They said are usually for the year that toy is going to come out. So they would have to sign a new deal to reissue, but they said that's not a major issue because Volkswagen has been a very good partner.
Mhm.
So I guess all the fears of Volkswagen not wanting to do the VW bug mold is not really an issue anymore. It's just a matter of you know contracts expire and it's just a legal process they have to go through. Uh, Chris, I'm not sure what he was from. Asked about the tapes. Are they their own mold or are they part of the blaster mold? Oh, this is Chris from Radio Free Cybertron.
Oh
Um,
yeah, XV Braun.
XB.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, are the tapes their own mold or are they part of the blaster mold? So regarding like the clear parts, you know, usually they're on the same mold and they are, but with Twincast, the window is darker than Rewind, or it's actually like a red shade. And Mark said that during his days as a prototype painter, he found this technique, and that's what they're doing. It's the same part of the same plastic, but then they are painting the the window in a way that tints it really well, and that's what they're doing there. So um, I thought that was really interesting. And let's see, I mentioned about the different teams. This was in the studio series. So let's see. Matt K asked Crash Bar anything about its development or what the character's personality is. Uh, the initial conception had input from Marcelo Matera and Dan Kana. Marcelo was integral to the development. I think Dan did some of the more initial stuff, and then Marcelo was later on. Um, they pushed more towards the junk and like Mad Max type vehicle vibes that are popular right now. But they managed to keep the colors the same with the originals. And Mark just kind of made up the term cadets for these new ones because they are smaller than the G1 Junkions. Um, that's not really canon, but internally they refer to them as the kids. Um,
Junkion Juniors.
yeah, and they said when the Crash Bar sculpt is revealed, keep an eye on that because there are some secrets in there. So, um, yeah, I thought this was interesting. I love that they are still using some of the the talented artists we've seen on the comics in some of these concept arts. It would be really nice to see them pull in Alex Milne for some. Just, I mean, the artists that you can just see that they think about the transformation when they are
Yeah.
designing the characters. Um, let's see. TFW 2005 had to bring up RD 2001 fire truck. Well, actually, just the fire truck mentioned on the last live stream, and um, they said that they do appreciate the feedback and RID, and then the love for everything other than G1 that's been getting lately. Officially, they can't confirm or deny anything, but Evan did pull off his RID Rail Racer and Build Team figures, and said that he would love to do some of the combiners from that era. So, fingers crossed for some more RID 2001 love. Juan Beast asked about some of the favorite engineering that the team has come up with in the modern lines. Evan said Siege Hound was amazing, like particularly the legs, the way the legs transform, and just coming up with some standardized articulation that's now across all the lines. Mark couldn't really think of a lot of things because he was like, everything he was thinking of was things that are in the pipeline now that he can't talk about. But he said going from skids to crankcase was a good engineering, like doing that remold.
Mm-hmm.
And G-Axis making that transformation work. He was really happy with it. And then Sam said that the Junkion interchangeable vehicles was a high point. They want to encourage creativity in the fans, and said that this exists because of the fan feedback. And
No, that's
then,
cool.
yeah. And then the last question here was from Dixon C. It says, Rise of the Beast Cheetor was to have inspiration from Beast Machines. And he said that the new Studio Series figures are based on the movie models that they were given at the time of development. So obviously during the movie process, they changed things. But from when they started working on the toys, what they were given at that time is what the Studio Series toys are based off of. But the movie team did pull from prior toys, and they did see some inspiration from things like transmetals in the movie designs. And then he also asked about putting designer credits on the boxes, and they thought that's awesome, but because of the 5 language problem, it it would just take up even more space. There's already so much text on the box. But that's why they're trying to shout out all the creators on the live streams and stuff. So it's understandable, and they mentioned how like smaller companies are able to do it because they are smaller, but with Hasbro you have so many people in the pipeline involved, so you want to make sure that you don't leave anyone out. And I don't know, I think they're doing a good job with the streams and also bringing up the Takara creators.
Yeah.
And I think that's it for the initial questions. There were some end of the stream questions. Someone asked about the Velocitron hot rod listing that just kind of showed up and went away. It's not really not currently planned out to come out anywhere. Maybe later, but not right now. I'm not sure which hot rod this was.
This was the it was a
Oh,
recolor of the Studio Series 86
okay,
hot rod that was showing up as as part of the
okay,
Velocitron Legacy set. And yeah,
right.
yeah, we talked about it a few months ago, but yeah, never
Never,
materialized. Yeah.
yeah. So I think they said that was someone that shouldn't have even had access to it that leaked it. But the Dirge, Earthspark, or things like
Earthrise, you mean, right?
yeah, it said Earthspark here, but yeah, I guess Earthrise. The non-exclusives that might have been hard to find in the stores. They said they're always trying to figure out how to fit them back in. Where the Dirge is going to be just a straight re-release of the Earthrise one, but they're always trying to figure out where they can re-release some figures that might not have gotten it. Like say there's a team of figures like the Studio Series Dinobots. Someone might have just started collecting, towards the middle or end of that, and you want to still give them the chance to get like Grimlock and not have to pay crazy secondary market prices. So there was another question specifically about that, and they're just it's they're trying to see where the pain points are, but you know can't always, especially with a company as big as Hasbro, just re-release things on a whim. All right, so those are all the questions, but they like to reveal something on these calls, and they did in the PR email say that we could play some of the videos. So I'm going to play a little bit of when they were revealing a new Buzzworthy Bumblebee figure.
We have Origin Universe. This is Origin Autobot Jazz. So this is from that iconic G1 episode where, you know, we did UFO Bumblebee in the Buzzworthy line a couple years ago. Mark's like, we really need to get more of those versions out there. Obviously, Jazz super loved here, hover car mode. So this will be available for pre-order later this month. I'm not going to give you a specific date just in case something changes, but that's what we're going to state. And now I'm going to let Mark show you the actual toy here, and I'm going to spotlight him for everyone so you guys.
Nice.
Fanrific. As you can see, the hairdryer razor is here. He's looking spectacular, actually. Worked on this guy with Yuya-san, and as you can see, he has his nice little G1 styled blaster weapon as well. You can see the clear canopy on the top. I mean, this was just obviously a treat to work on because his hover vehicle mode is like really, really cool looking, and it's just very, very unique to the series. So this guy came out tremendous. I'll get into the robot mode right now because I mean, as awesome as this like little hover car is, the robot mode is just bananas. That you'll see here that, I mean, it's just the accuracy of him in all of his glory. Let me see if I can.
That is amazing.
That's amazing. Yeah, definitely. That's the best thing I've seen all year.
Keeping the false chest. That's where it's at.
Yeah, had to do that. I mean, but
it's accurate.
Exactly right. Exactly
That's
right.
what you
Doesn't
need to-
really have that too much bad kibble, but like this is the best part now. Now we're getting into the deets here. You see how he's got his like little hand here? Boom, he's got a little slot there. And what's going in there is his grappling hook that is shown in the
Oh, sweet.
Wow.
And the best part, grappling hook pops off, fits on the tip of the gun, so he can shoot that as well.
That is amazing.
Come on.
That's it.
No string though.
No string, didn't do the string, didn't get the approval on the string, but
The string would have made it a leader class.
you do have a nice connector joint here as well. Like and there's in the hover car mode, actually, there is storage of that in the bottom here. You see that?
Oh, wow.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this yeah, man. This was just one of those things that just had to be done, and it was done, and it was done properly here. Because this guy looks really cool. He's got like ankle rockers, wrist swivel. I mean, no, he does not have wrist swivel. Sorry, misspoke. He does have waist swivel. Heads on ball joint, can look all around. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is just
So that was a great surprise.
Yeah. I mean, and that's awesome that, I mean, we didn't have a hint of that before this, right? I mean,
it was not leaked at all.
yeah.
So that's, congratulations to them.
And they've already got the packaging and everything, so it's ready to go. It'll probably be in store shelves in a couple months or so.
They said pre-orders into this month, or
Mhm.
with the caveat that they aren't promising a date yet because they don't want to, something happens. So, I am very happy with the way this guy looks, and it's just the faux chest. I know you are not a fan of faux chest, but I think in this case you have to make it work because it's accurate to the cartoon.
Yeah, that you get a pass there. That's the you got to get a pass. That's the first episode of the G1 cartoon. What are you gonna do?
They had an alt mode that they were going to only use in that one episode.
Yeah. I mean, it was like one scene, like it
Right.
was like less than a couple seconds of animation. And it's the same with the Origin Bumblebee too, which
Yeah.
I also got, which I famously paid too much for. But the Origin Bumblebee also has a faux chest because you don't have a VW hood on your UFO, the UFO mode that they call it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean it's very cool that they're doing this, and I know they hinted at more coming down the line. So
Right.
I'm hopeful for a Wheeljack.
You're not gonna do this one and then not have plans to do Wheeljack.
Yeah.
And then are we gonna get a telephone pole sound wave?
I mean the Siege Soundwave can already do the telephone pole
Yeah.
mode. You could get some slight retooling, and there you go.
Yeah, maybe we could do that.
And then Tetrajets. I mean, I still am not a fan of the War for Cybertron Siege Tetrajets.
Yeah.
If they could retool those Tetrajets to be a little bit better,
or just do a completely new Tetrajet.
Yeah,
I think they need to do that. They said that this Jazz is 100% new mold. It is completely new. So I'm awesome that they did that, and the colors look fantastic too. They just pop, but it just I don't know if I would display that in the robot motor vehicle mode. It's just
gotta buy two.
Yeah, I mean, I think the vehicle mode is just so awesome, and it does not have wheels. Just like the Bumblebee one, it doesn't have wheels. So
I still this now we got to put a pin in this for the next like fan media roundtable. We got to put the question in: what the heck is the Buzzworthy Bumblebee line? Why does this line exist? What is the theme for this line? It's clearly not just Bumblebee. It's like it's not even mostly Bumblebee at this point.
It's the catch-all, anything that can't fit anywhere else.
And why did this come about? And I mean, I'm not complaining. I just want to understand why all these figures are going in this Buzzworthy Bumblebee line.
Well, I mean, the line is a Target exclusive.
Okay. Yeah,
so it's probably just a line they developed for Target, and they did say Target was excited that it was going to be revealed on this fan media panel.
Mm-hmm.
So Target's aware as well, but some of the other retailers are kind of doing their own thing, like Walmart has their collector's con and stuff like that. So I don't know. I think the Buzzworthy line is just they wanted to figure out a decent name for an exclusive line. Bumblebee is, will sell.
I guess they were like, well, we want these toys to be buzzworthy. What buzzes? Bumblebee.
There you go.
But yeah, that Jazz was a great way to end the stream. And yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'm definitely going to pick that up. Hopefully I'll only pay retail price for it this time.
Well, pre-order it.
Yeah. I guess I got to do that.
Yeah. So yeah, I think, this was a great afternoon. I'm very appreciative that Hasbro is including us in these. Hopefully you can get on the next one. I think just timing and me working from home is why I can usually do these, but the next time we'll make sure that you can schedule it in.
Too bad we didn't have one while Daryl was looking for work. He
was on the last one.
Oh, okay. All right.
So yeah. It was weird not having like Vangelis on this one, so there was no Omega Supreme references. That was sad. I think if they ever did make a Legacy Omega Supreme, even like a core class one, I think he would just pass out. I don't know. Everyone he brings it up, reminds them that the interest is there. but it was nice seeing so many new names on it. There's a few names I didn't recognize offhand, and then like the Toys R Us guy, we just knew him from that where he had who was it, Mark and Evan
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
So lots of new people, and that's great having new blood in there. So
Cool.
I think that was probably it for this roundtable, and looking forward. They wanted to do more and more frequently, so looking forward to that.
Cool. All right. Well, everyone you stay on the lookout for, I mean, if you're in, I guess only if you're in the US, look for Target. I mean, I think in Canada they get stuff through GameStop or Toys R Us.
Yeah. They said on the UK, Smith's gets a lot of these, but not all of them. And someone from the UK was complaining about that, but also with Hasbro Pulse being in more countries, just check there too.
Yeah. Except for Canada because of the exorbitant
Right.
shipping. Sorry, Daryl. But yeah, so that's cool. Yeah, that Origin Jazz, awesome. So looking forward to that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, that was the fan media wrap up. Thanks, Jeremy, for collecting all that information and giving us the lowdown. And that'll wrap up our toy topics, and we will move on to trips to the store.
The Transmissions podcast will return after these messages.
And Trips to the Store is powered by TeePublic. So you can check out our merchandise store at TeePublic. Don't go to teepublic.com. Go to transmissionspodcast.com/shop. And that's where you can find all our merchandise on TeePublic. There is a sale going on this week, I believe. So everything is 35% off. So check it out. Transmissionspodcast.com/shop. Buy some merchandise, get 35% off, still help out the show. We'd appreciate it. Valentine's Day is coming up next week, right? Oh, it won't get there in time, but that's probably for the best. Your significant other probably doesn't want a Transmission shirt, but get one for yourself. Treat yourself.
Yeah. And put your significant other's name on the order.
Yeah. There you go. Make it easy for him or her to help you out, to get a gift for you. So, all right, let's talk about the stuff we got this week. Jeremy, I'm going to start off with you.
All right. I got nothing new. So I was digging around for some more stuff to display, and I found something I've been looking for a while, but I didn't remember where I'd packed it. This is my oh crap, can't think of the name. Kabaya kit, Fort Max. I was just thinking Fury model, and I'm like, no, there was another name for model kits, but yeah, this is my Kabaya kit Fort Max, and it came in 3 sets. So it's a big thing. It's an actual headmaster, which I should probably look at it as I do this. But, so you can see, the headmaster's legs fell off, but actual headmaster.
Is it the head? Is there a headmaster in the headmaster too?
No.
Okay.
It's not the double. But I'll have to find the legs where they fell. But he's a big guy for a Kabaya kit. I put them together years ago, but so I'm pretty happy. I don't have any other Fort Maxes, so this is my Fort Max.
Nice.
And then I was also, I found where I had my Iron Factory City Commander. This is a Legend scaled Ultra Magnus. So I'm gonna put him somewhere. I think this was one of my very first third-party figures. So it's a good Ultra Magnus, and Iron Factory's got good quality. Even can't remember how long ago they did this, but it's good quality figure. I need to figure out where I'm going to display him. And the last thing I was going to show off, kind of, I saw this one in the box, and with Rise of the Beast, I was like, this is a perfect opportunity to kind of show probably some of the inspiration for that RC. And I have Energon RC here. She is tiny. Whoop. I'm trying to turn the head there. I probably haven't really transformed this one in like 7 or 8 years. But here, try to focus. There we go.
Oh, there. Cool.
Yeah. So, and so she turns into a motorcycle, probably the first RC that did that. And looking at the Rise of the Beast RC, there are definitely some hints, probably because there's only so many ways you can do a motorcycle into a robot. But the color also, I mean, she's very very pink, although Rise of the Beast has the more G1 head, but she's got a little hairstyle there. But I remember really liking this figure, but she is just a pain in the ass to stand up because she's just on heels. And the new figure, if I remember right, there is actually wheels on the back of her legs, which will probably help with the standing up. But yeah, this was a good figure, and I think it was one of the first RCs we had in a long time. I can't remember. I guess there was never a G1 RC, was there?
No.
Yeah,
This
might have been the first RC.
Yeah, well, we had like BotCon, like the RC that was a repaint of Black Arachnia, like Transmetal 2 Black Arachnia. But this might be like the first designed RC.
Yeah, first mainline. And I remember I got this in, I think, around 2004, because I think I was at BotCon when I got it. So, and that is all the things I was going to show off this week.
All right. I got one new thing this week. This came through from Hasbro Pulse. I had pre-ordered this a few months ago with Tarn. This is Legacy Scrap Heap, not Scrap Hook, Scrap Heap. So it's me. You see, it's just like me. It's my. This is my my representation of my Empire of Rust character in the special episodes. I was a Junkion scientist, Scrap Heap, turned into a tow truck. So
there you go.
Hasbro honored me by making my character into a real toy.
You should sign the box and mark off Heap and right Hook.
I'll get a Sharpie. I think I'll do that. I think I'll keep the box and do that just for fun. But yeah, I mean, this is a cool figure. I sadly didn't get a chance to take him out and play with him, but I am going to play with him. I'm going to take him out. And it's cool to just see, a character. I mean, because Hasbro didn't design this character around my Empire of Rust character, but it is cool to have an actual representation of my Empire of Rust character that's very close to what I envisioned him. So it's cool. And yeah, and I'm looking forward to the other Junkions. The Junkion subline in this evolution line looks really cool. So I don't know, should I collect all the Junkions? Oh, that sounds like I'm going down a dark path there. But
well, yeah, you need to get multiples.
Yeah. Does have an Autobot symbol, so I thought the Junkions were not technically Autobots, but I don't know if it's not gonna focus.
There you go.
There it is.
I think the toys have always been Autobots.
Fair enough. But Yes, I didn't open it this time. So yeah, I didn't want to cause the apocalypse. So I didn't open the toy this time. So, but yeah, that's what I got this week. And since Daryl's not here, I win. I get the coveted spot for the end of trips to the store. Okay, that's all for trips to the store. So we will move on to some feedback.
We now return to the Transmissions podcast.
Okay, we got a nice little smattering of feedback this week. So first we had our friend Nathan, our newest donatron, Nathan, on YouTube, commenting on episode 523. And Nathan, commenting on Daryl's prediction that Metal Hawk would be a retool of G-Axis. So Daryl was close. G-Axis is a jet, Cyclonus is a jet. So I mean, not too far off. But Nathan comments. Nathan said, "Gosh, how close Daryl was to getting Legacy Metal Hawk correct. Just as a Cyclonus retool and not a G-Axis. Sorry, Jeremy. I don't remember them saying anything about any particular gimmick."
Yeah.
So,
well, they said that they weren't doing the gimmicks on the Pretenders. So
yeah,
I was wrong.
That's okay. Next up, we got a comment from Twitter from our good friend Robinus Prime over in the UK. And he says, "Hi guys, sorry if I've missed it, but have you discussed your opinions of the HasLab Victory Saber since it turned up as you all got it, right?" Yes, we did all get Victory Saber. I cannot give you much of an opinion because mine is still in the box. Sadly, I have not opened it up yet. But we did have a discussion. I think both Jeremy and Daryl talked about their Victory Saber.
Mine's up there.
And there were, I think you were both kind of lucky, right? I don't think you had any like major issues with them.
Yeah, I think my only issue was getting the little, I guess they call them brain masters, out. There was the plastic seemed very weak and already saw some stress marks, so I'm just not going to get him out. Other than that, everything was okay. The chrome was perfect on mine. I think there might have been one tiny little spot, but I think I really lucked out.
Cool. Yes.
we got lots of comments on Charles not opening things and things being right in the world.
I don't know. I might have to go. I have to go on a spree and just open everything, and
Yeah.
I don't know. Something really bad might happen, but we'll see. So Daryl's not here tonight, but I will refer you, Robinus, to our We Like Big Bots latest episode, because that is all about Victory Saber. So you should check out what both Daryl and Dr. Pants have to say about their Victory Sabers. I'm sure they go through their HasLab Victory Sabers in addition to other versions of Victory Saber that they have. So you can check that out on our Patreon page. So I believe Robinus is a donatron, so if and you can check that out and see a whole half hour of Daryl and Dr. Pants going through that Victory Saber. So enjoy that. And the last bit of feedback comes from DJ Ronan, big friend of the show, DJ Ronan, who is giving us some further clarification on master wait, this is alt mode feedback. Maybe I should
yeah,
maybe I should move that to alt mode.
Editor, fix that.
Never mind. Sorry, DJ Ronan. We'll mention this in alt mode. Sorry. My bad. That was my bad when I got the show docs together.
It's Daryl's fault.
Okay. And that's it for feedback. And that will take us to the end of the show. So, as always, we give a shout out to our masterpiece donatrons. These are the folks who continue to support the podcast at our highest level, and that's why we mention them in every episode. So, thank you once again to John Forex Levingood and Demon Tech 82. We really appreciate your support. And I do want to mention before we go, we still have our promo with toyhacks.com, our friends at toyhacks.com. So if you would like to buy some labels, stickers, anything from toyhacks.com, just use our code TM1234. So that'll save you 15% off your entire order at toyhacks.com. And it's doesn't expire. You can use it as many times as you like until Toy Hacks tells us they're not doing it anymore. You can still use it. So save 15% at toyhacks.com and help out Transmissions. Just use our code TM1234, toyhacks.com. Okay. Thanks everyone for watching and listening. Really appreciate you checking us out, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Later.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Transmissions. If you'd like to join the conversation, travel to our Discord channel at transmissionspodcast.com/Discord. Want some cool Transmission swag? Feast your eyes on our Transmissions gear at transmissionspodcast.com/shop. If you'd like to support our podcast, go to transmissionspodcast.com/support or tell your friends about our show. We'll see you next time.